Hello everyone, this is Stipe and it is time for a UPA video. So I figured, since there are quite a few people doing uploads for the UPA, I could at least try do a few videos for the best battles of the season. Probably not all of them. Of course, like if you want to see me narrate a certain one of my games, my own games, I can take requests. But yeah, UPA. I believe this is the 5th season I am in the UPA, and twice I have won the regular season, made it to the semis, and then twice I have not made it to the playoffs at all. So it's been like every oh, what the hell, all the even seasons I've won the regular season and made it to the semis. All the odd seasons I have not made it to the playoffs. So this is an even season. This is season 10. So it means I'm going to win the regular season and make it to the semis. UPA is pretty cool league. We have like, it started off pretty like casual, and it's still casual, but we just like the level of play has increased a lot, partially because our own players have gotten better, such as Ben and Ice and Dork and me, I guess. And of course, Mens has always been very good. And then we got like a lot of very good players, like Bronson the Goat and who else? We got Baby Eric, and I heard Jacko is very good. Like I don't really like I don't follow other leagues, so I have no idea who Jacko is, but people say he's good, so I believe them. And yeah, there's one little minor, actually pretty big problem with UPA, and it's that they allowed speed pass this season without even asking anybody. Like, we voted on some ones, like Aegis Slash is allowed now, Lando I is allowed, Double LA is not, which I'm fine with. It's it's kind of an annoying one to prep for, even though I don't think it's possible at all. But speed pass just doesn't belong to the draft format in 2019. I think it's pretty clear that it is not like a healthy kind of playstyle or strategy. It doesn't really have any counterplay. And it's just so brainless to use. And I'm doing this video like after the first week, so I already know that it's been like, there has been a game where someone was wheelchaired by a speed pass. I don't remember if I said, but like this video is gonna be both like draft breakdown and my week 1 game versus OmegaJolteon, one of the, I guess, players that also kind of the new players. He's not like for the first season, but like I've been longer in UPA, so he's a new player who's making it better for sure. Anyway, I guess that's all about UPA. I was like 4th in the draft order, I think. So I figured either 4th or 5th. I think I was 4th. I wanted something fun. I think like Aggie and Coco and something else was gone. But I went for Lando I. Simply because I've never used it, and it's like it's a very fun looking like wall breaker. I was when I drafted it, I was like thinking it as a wall breaker, but obviously like it has like rock polish, so it can obviously function as a very solid sweeper. With its bulk, with its typing, with its speed, I don't think like a common sweeper is really ever a set. But I don't know. It has common bulk of stuff like that, so why not? But to pair up with Lando, I figured that Lando is pretty cool because it can break steels and it can also break fairies with the strong like shield first boosted sludge wave. So I figured a good pair with Lando would be a dragon. And I went for Hydreigon. I would have probably went for Latias, but I got sniped a few picks prior. Hydreigon is still fine. It makes a nice U-turn core with Lando, and it's a nice one, very strong. Doesn't have setup, which I'm not a big fan of. I'm not like, I don't know. I'm not personally a big fan of mons that like are strong but don't have setup. But Hydreigon is cool. I kind of like it more in OU than in drafts, which is weird because it's a UU mon. But that's just me. But I like this like offensive pair a lot. And for Omega, I knew before the draft I want something fun once again. So I figured that Mega Zam would be a very fun one to try. I know Bronson used it very well last season. It's probably one of the most underrated Megas, I would say. I know Mega T-Tar is another very underrated one, but I feel Mega Zam is probably even more so. It's so fast, so strong, and so much like cool tech in its move. But I'm not gonna go through it. I don't wanna do that in my like draft breakdowns. But I have a lot of expectations for Mega Zam. I think it's gonna be a very fun one to use. Okay, so at this point I was like, I'm pretty weak to like steel. No, not steel, but ice. Well, I'm weak to steel too, actually. I'm weak to ice, and I don't want Lando be my rocker probably ever. So I went for Cobalion. Cobalion is also going to be my Z user. One of my 4 Z users, actually. You can have 4. So the Z users is like you get 30 points to spend on your Z users. Cobalion was 12, so it leaves me with 18 more. 18 more points to use. So Cobalion of course gives me rocks. It gives me great like setup options. It doesn't have the like best offense, but with it has like very strong attacks like close combo, focus blast, and it has good setup with Coma and SD rock polish. So it's a pretty versatile one actually. Very good defense too. I figure it fits my team very nicely. Next up, I went for a Seismitoad. A bit early, maybe, but at the same time not, because I just knew I wanted. I just figured Seismitoad fits my team very well because it gives me another Stealth Rocker, meaning I don't really need any more Stealth Rockers in my team. So I don't have to like stress about that. It gives me Boogie Water, it gives me another ground type that doesn't share a ice weakness with Lando, so that's always very good. And I've used Seismitoad before. I know it's very fun one to use. It gives me a bit more bulk. So there's that. Next, yeah. So I was actually thinking of like Rotom Heat for my next mon. It would have made like quite a bit of sense, but then like I was just thinking of Entei, and like I don't know, something just clicked with Entei. I was like, damn, that actually Entei feels good. Entei feels good. I want to try Ent. I've never like, I don't often like draft pure fire types. I've never drafted Rotom Heat either, but I mean I don't always draft fires at all, but even less often I draft pure fire types. I've drafted both Sunny Setters, Ninetales and Torkoal, and then I have drafted like lower tier fires like Magmortar and Flareon, but that's all. I never drafted like Entei or Arcanine, so I figured Entei is probably gonna be very fun one to use. It's I feel it's a lot more versatile than people think. It's much more than just spamming or nuking those sacred fires. It can essentially do the same thing as Suicune, which is very cool. It's not quite as bulky, but it's more like it's faster, so can invest in bulk a bit more. Fire is, I feel, is a very underrated as a defensive typing in draft format. It's the only type that can resist two types of Dragon Fairy Steel Core. Obviously, Steel can resist all of them, but it's not same as two. Fire can resist two. It's the only type to do so. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Anyway, that's my first 6 picks, then the last 6. Alright, so now you can't see what I already have, but anyway. Next I went for Gardevoir, so I kinda need a bulky Psychic, and while Gardevoir may not be the bulkiest, really the reason to draft like bulky Psychics is to check stuff like, you know, Mega Medicham, Mega Gallade, Mega Lopunny, and well, while Gardevoir doesn't really check Lopunny, it does check Gallade and Medicham, not really with her bulk, but rather with her typing. So I figured that's good enough, and it gives me a pretty interesting like trade score with Mega Zam, so that could be pretty cool to see how that functions. Next up I got Skarm. I was like, wait, was Skarm is still around? And it came back to me, which I was also a bit surprised, because I realized it like when it was like the draft was going like at the other, like at the big numbers. I was 4, so I was like, someone's probably gonna get it, but nope. I got Skarmory around 8, fantastic. I already got like 3 Stealth Rockers, so I can always just run Spikes. Skarmory is a fantastic mon. It's like back in 6th gen, I figured it's like one of the best mons in draft, simply because it's, for a bulky mon, it just operates extremely well in every single type of playstyle. And now that the Constabulary is released, its Hyper Offense set can function to its like best potential, which is quite beautiful. Very happy with Skarm, and especially with like Seismitoad, it just creates a fantastic defensive core. What did I get next? I have 4 picks left. I got Delmise, another one I've never used. It has Rapid Spin, but I mean that's cool. I'm also interested in its like huge attack stat with a very interesting offensive typing, having basically 3 stabs. Decent bulk, so I'm definitely interested to see how this mon will operate. I got Venomoth next. Venomoth does give me grounded poison, gives me great Subsweeper, utility mon, you name it. Because like defog, I can pass speed if I want. A lot of cool things, but mainly for like grounded poison and T-spikes, and of course all the other cool things that it also can offer. I got 2 picks left with 5 points, so I was like, let's meme a little. Something I really wanted, and it was mainly because I watched the Fufu 2 video of the Saucebuck buffs in this gen. I went for Saucebuck. I think for 2 points it's an extremely good value. There were some better value picks, like Eric got the 1 point Chimeco. That one could easily be like worth 5 points. But I think Saucebuck is pretty good value as well. 3 fantastic abilities, another speed passer, and I don't know. I'm just excited to use this one if I ever get a chance. Yeah. Then last I got Absol. I don't think like Absol gets drafted extremely rarely. But I got it mainly because at this point my team was super weak to Dark, so I kinda wanted a Pursuit Trapper. I could have gotten also a Zangoose, but I figured Absol is a bit better because it has Sucker Punch, so it can like better check ghosts that are faster. Especially like Gengar was looking very threatening against my team, so figured Absol would be pretty cool. But yeah, that's my whole team. Landoi, Hydreigon, Megazam, Cobalion, Seismitoad, Entei, Gardevoir, Skarmory, Delmice, Venomoth, Saucebuck, and Absol. Also, I forgot to mention, Absol is Z user, Saucebuck is Z user, oops, here, and Entei is also a Z user. Oh, no, it got Zap Cannon. Yeah, Entei is also a Z user, so I've seen it done pretty interesting stuff as a Z user. So it has some cool tech. Let's just put it that way. But yeah, this is my team. So now let's just go to the battle. I can just show my team real quick. I'm gonna be very quick with it. So I'm facing OmegaJolteon. So oh wait, I should actually have his team somewhere. Well, there it is. I'm blurring the appearance kills deaths, so you don't get spoiled. But yeah, there's his team: Mega Mobile, Latios with Z, Greninja, Jankroth, Nidoking, Alomomola, +1, Mimikyu with Z, Ember, Hilaliscan, and Scyther or Scyther. So yeah, kind of threatening looking team, but at the same time I feel like I have the tools to pretty easily actually deal with it. So what I did bring was Megazam, Command Recover Psychic, Dazzling Gleam, can just sweep after mobile is gone. Fully physically defensive Vinte, very solid switching for mobile, and does just it puts some good work against pretty much everything in his team with Toxic and Lava Plume. Common Magnetrans Cobalion is very cool. It can potentially set up on +1. It can set up on Nidoking if it's like certain types of Nidokings anyway. And this mon is always gonna be putting in a ton of work. I got Skarmory, also fully physically defensive. It's also there for the Mimikyu, which I figure is a huge threat. I really wanted defog, but I didn't go for it. So if he brings like spikes and stuff, I'll be booked. But I got spikes of my own, so I can try to pressure him to defog as well. I got special defensive Gardevoir, mainly for the Latios, and then unlike Greninja, Hilalisk, other specially Pokemons, and then I got Seismitoad. Oops, you can't see him. Seismitoad, also specially bulky. For more so for the Nidoking, but I can like also operate against most of his specially bulky mons. I got rocks on that thing. So let's go to the battle. So as you can see, he brings Mobile, Alomomola, Latios, Ember, Greninja, Nidoking. I guess the first thing I see is that the first thing I notice is that he has 3 potential Sucker Punch users, so Mega Zam may have hard time sweeping. Also, Cobalion's matchup is is looking fantastic, which it probably would have been regardless of the team he brought. But yeah, I'm gonna lead up with Seismitoad because it's a very reliable mon against the Nidoking. So I lead up with that, as my opponent actually leads up with Greninja. So I'm obviously kinda afraid of spikes, but I'm going to go for Stealth Rock, even though like he could have Grass Knot and he could probably kill me. But I want to go for rocks because if I switch out and he goes for spikes, I feel like I lose too much momentum. So I'd rather go for rocks and risk the potential kill by Grass Knot, as he goes for Dark Pulse, reveals Life Orb, reveals that's his strongest move against me, which is great information. I'm going to Gardevoir to better take the hit and better like pressure them on. As he goes for another Dark Pulse, and I'm gonna fire off a Wish here, and I could have been a bit more aggressive, just go for damage against the Monwall because it's very important to whittle down the Monwall for the Zam. But I go for Wish, and I'm just gonna go hard into the Entei. And the good thing with this play is that like I won't reveal my leftovers. However, he goes for rocks, which is kind of interesting. Anyway, I'm in a good position. I'm actually gonna hard Toxic because it's gonna hit anything that's gonna switch in, because Nidoking isn't gonna switch in on Entei ever. In comes the Alamomola, which was it was what I expected, but that worked out beautifully. But I just go for Salp because I'm kind of expecting a Toxic potentially, and that works beautifully. I get to start stalling. I go for Protect as he reveals Liquidation, which isn't that big of a surprise because I had a mock and Liquidation was brought in that, and it makes sense. It hits Zam harder. It does check a Command Entei better. What else? I guess it hits Lando harder. Anyway, he goes for a Wish, and here I'm gonna Protect. It's kind of a 50-50 because if he stays in, Protect is better play. If he switches out, it's definitely the worst play, but I'm still behind the sub, so it doesn't really matter. I can just go for Toxic as the Crank comes in, but as he goes for a Dark Pulse, gets the Wish health, I miss a Toxic, which definitely sucks, but I just go hard in my Gardevoir. It's getting whittled down very low, but Dark Pulse isn't still gonna be a 2-hit KO. And right here, he's actually gonna try to catch my Wish with a Taunt, but I actually go for an offensive move because this time, even if he switches out, I just wanna weaken the Mawile for the end game, and that works out beautifully because it taunts. I kill the Gren with a Moonblast. In comes the Latios. I'm pretty sure I can take any hit, but he actually reveals a Never-Ending Nightmare. Pretty interesting for sure. He was expecting Gardevoir to be a check. I can bring in my Zam and just like kind of revenge. In comes the Mawile, and that's fine. I can get some nice chip, which I definitely do want. 90%, pretty okay. I'm gonna switch things up a little, go into Skarm instead of Entei. As it goes for Play Rough, I get the nice Rocky Helmet chip. And I'm gonna take this as an opportunity to go for a Roost. I need to keep my Skarm around for the... I mean, mainly for the... I guess... I don't know. It's mainly there for the... Mawile. Anyway, in comes Latios. I switch into my Seismitoad, which is my... another specially defensive mon. I can just take 2 Shadow Balls. I go for Icy Wind, which probably was a bit of a misplay because I had also an opportunity to Toxic, and as I go into Skarm, he just roosts, and I'm gonna like going into Skarm, trying to kind of scout his sets. I switch into Entei, scouting for the Thunderbolt. And I'm kind of switching out my mons just to keep them in like an even health. and Thunderbolt won't do much to Entei, so it was a solid switch, even though it's not especially defensive. I'm just gonna protect her a few times as incomes and ducking as he reveals a poison jab. And I'm actually kind of thinking of a Scarf ducking because he doesn't have any other Scarfer. If Embor is Scarf, it doesn't outspeed the Embor. And here he actually does go for Flamethrower. He does not. Let me actually pause just to explain my thoughts. So he does reveal Flamethrower, it doesn't kill, as I do get up a spike. Of course, losing Scarm is a bit annoying, but probably not the end of the world, as still I do have my Entei. Nidoking was always gonna be a very big threat because it can basically have anything. And Flamethrower not killing means it's either non-especially offensive Life Orb, and it was a roll, or then he's not Life Orb at all. And Ice Beam obviously was something makes a lot of sense for the Lando. Anyway, revealing the Ice Beam there was I feel it was a huge. I can understand that because I had Seismitoad in the back, but it was still kind of a misplay because this tells me that his last move is most likely gonna be either Earthquake or Sucker Punch, and it means that right now my best play is always to try to scout for it, so that's why I go into Seismitoad, because any of the moves he has revealed, Poison Jab, Ice Beam, Flamethrower, won't kill me, as it does reveal Mega Horn, which I wasn't expecting at all. And right here, I'm gonna pause again. I got into Mega Zam, and so how the end game is gonna go. So obviously, if he's AV, which he definitely could be, Psychic, Modest Psychic is still gonna be very, very solid chance to. It's gonna have a very solid chance to kill. Of course, if it's like AV max special defense, it's about 50% chance. If it's AV max HP, it's like 80% chance. If it's Payapa, I'm obviously in big trouble. But I can potentially try to set up on this thing with my Cobalion, because if it's no Life Orb, I can get to +1, and Life Orb, Flamethrower won't do that much. I can probably get to +2 and just start getting off kills. I don't think Latios will be able to kill me, and if I just hit my Focus Blasts, I'm looking pretty good. I had to just sweep from there. However, most likely thing is that he's actually Shuka Berry for my Lando, which I didn't bring. So I'm just gonna go for a Psychic, as he does stay in, and crit doesn't matter at all, unless he was AV, but I am pretty sure he was not. He brings in Alamomola, which is interesting because I could just kill it from there. But I instead going to Cobalion, take this as an opportunity to set up the Calm Mind. I'm pretty sure that at this point I would just one-shot the Allow with +1 Focus Blast. Anyway, in comes Latios, and he's actually gonna switch out because +1 Corkscrew Crush has a chance to kill. He sacks Mobile, and this is actually very, very big because now Alakazam is looking very good to win this game, and either Alakazam or Cobalion. So basically he put himself in a very, very bad position. Because the only way Cobalion doesn't really sweep here is if Embor is either Scarf or AV. And as you can see, he's not Scarf. And if he was Scarf, Alakazam would outspeed. But he's AV, all-up pummeling doesn't take him out. But Flare Blitz recoil does kill him, so now it's checkmate. I just bring in my Alakazam, get up a Calm Mind and kill both of the mons. And he brings in Aloe, so there's like no way he can win. He can if he Proladios and had Thunder Wave, that would have been a way, but nope. I do get up to +1, and Psychic will easily kill the Alamomola from here. That's like the beauty of Alakazam. It's so damn strong. And I have the Dazzling Gleam for the Latios, so GG. That was a pretty weird game, kinda, because it was loaded by like scouting sets, and I guess you could say it came down to prep, but it was also a lot about just hoping that the other player would have kind of sets that would not win the game, and this time it happened to me, who was lucky in that regard. I'm not I'm not sure if I really agree with all of Omega's prep. I feel like in certain circumstances, ground spam would have been very beneficial against me with the Duking, and Latios seemed a bit weak, which it never should be. But and Spikes would have been so bad against me. Okay, so good. Anyway, I'm very happy to start this season off with a win. The competition is so high that this win is gonna go for a long way for sure. Yeah, so I'm not really gonna upload all of my games. I'm gonna upload the good ones, and if anybody wants me to upload a certain game, I can probably do that. But yeah, this was the start of the UPA Season 10. I hope you all enjoyed. This is Stipe signing out. Bye.